Now, oh man, goddamn, Dexter definitely still needs help. A lot of people already know what I'm gonna talk about since I've talked about this topic regarding him twice in the past. Anyway, let's talk about it. Now, there was a time when Famous Dex was actually not only a really promising name that was on the come up in the Chicago scene of rap, but he was also highly rated within that scene. I know a lot of fans like to throw around the whole I miss the old insert rapper's name, but when I hear people say that about Famous Dex, I see exactly where you're coming from. Dexter has gone from someone who was really doing it, was absolutely killing the specific lane that he's in, to now being one of those rappers who's been counted out, and he obviously got counted out for a reason. The drugs slowed Famous Dex down like crazy, and it was also exactly what made him lose all that energy he once used to have in his music. For a lot of people, that's very surprising to hear because they haven't followed him throughout his career or simply haven't listened to his older stuff, but Famous Dex actually used to sound excited when he rapped. Nowadays though, he's unfortunately drained himself out of all that goodness, and it's all due to the drugs. Now, over a year ago, I made a video on Famous Dex having to end one of his shows after he had a seizure on stage where he had to get carried out. This went down only a few days after I made that Famous Dex Got Left Behind video where I discussed exactly why Dex wasn't as hot as he once used to be. Obviously, it all came down to the drugs, no surprise there, but I also brought up a situation that went down on his Instagram live where Famous Dex quote unquote fell asleep. Falling asleep is of course another way of me saying nodding out. This happened a while back, by the way, in 2018 to be exact. Later after that though, Dex hopped on Instagram live to explain why he fell asleep on live.
The video that's right now going viral, that's kind of so stupid. For once, I'm a human being and I work my ass off. And once you put overtime overnight, and then you come back home at 4 something in the morning, and you decide to go live, hey.
Just an all-around sad situation, man, because Dexter was clearly in denial. Not here to point fingers or shame him or anything like that. I think addiction is a very serious thing. My perspective on it since day one was I don't want to see Famous Dex ending up as the next one, and I'm not the only one who feels this way. All these things that I'm talking about right now are things that have happened in the past, but things haven't gotten better for him, unfortunately. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while actually, but Famous Dex in 2020 is not looking good, man, and thank God we saw a rapper, NLE Choppa to be exact, speak out about this. A couple days ago, NLE Choppa actually hopped on Twitter and said this: "I've never been the type to be in folks' business, but at 300, that's Dexter's label by the way, y'all see Famous Dex obviously on drugs too heavy. Can y'all at least try surrounding that man around somebody with his best interest? Help dude out, or somebody who already in his ear, uplift him, he needs it." Standing ovations for NLE, man, truly, because it's one thing for me or someone else to be talking about this, it's another thing for a rapper in the industry publicly addressing this, genuinely sounding concerned. I think this is exactly what needed to be said, and NLE is the only rapper who's said anything about this. Actually, now that I think about it, Lil TJ is also speaking out about this. Lil TJ has a line on his 2018 record, GOAT, where he says, "I think Dexter better lay off them Zans."
Looking forward to a show in Japan. I think Dexter better lay off the Zans.
So shout out to Lil TJ for saying that over 2 years ago. By the way, that's like my favorite Lil TJ song, Fire. But back to NLE Choppa and Famous Dex. Now NLE Choppa obviously said this because, like I said, Famous Dex in 2020 just doesn't look good these days, man. He looks physically ill.
Hey Black, you said.
Hey Black, they want to hear this shit?
Yeah,
Okay, listen. Okay, look. Hop out the Lambos too, man, little bitches. They want to suck on my dick. I'm like, hold on.
If you kind of analyze the state he's in this video, you're gonna agree with me. He looks very strung out, unfortunately, and Dexter responded to what NLE said though. On both Twitter and Instagram, he put up both of these tweets right here. As you can see on the right, it says, "Blessed that someone care about me." And that pretty much tells me everything I need to know. On the other tweet to the left though, he just quote tweeted NLE Choppa's tweet, and then this is what he said on his Instagram story as a response, by the way.
When you working so hard and you just work so hard and people got something to say about you, you just do like this. What you talking about, Willis? But I want to say to all my fans, everybody, I'm not mad about what NLE Choppa said. He cares. at least somebody cares. He didn't say nothing wrong. At least somebody cares, and I just want to say I really appreciate the love, you know what I'm saying? But when the world on drugs, and I look mighty damn fine.
As you could hear, he said, at least somebody cares, right? Referring to the fact that no one in the industry has said anything about the state he's in. But as you could also hear at the end, he said, if I was on drugs, low-key denying that was the case. You know, a lot of times I wonder what goes through the mind of the people around a lot of these rappers. We obviously call those people yes men. They're only there for their best interest. Their ulterior motive is always at the forefront of their mind. They don't care what happens to the rapper in question. They don't care if the rapper in question puts himself in danger. All they care about is them being around said rapper so they can keep on benefiting and eating off of their value. That's what we call a parasite, by the way. A parasite in the form of a human being is a person who uses others to obtain or get to whatever they have in mind without really contributing to the situation. This is obviously something not only rappers should look out for, but you should avoid those types of people. But we see this a lot in the industry. In this case right here, Famous Dex is not doing good, man, and it's to the point where he's having a hard time forming a sentence and keeping his eyes wide open. But this keeps on continuing and continuing and continuing, and it gets to the point where a rapper on the outside has to tell the label and the people around Famous Dex to do something. Dexter is unfortunately in denial. He's a grown man who can make his own decisions, but he's also a very vulnerable human being at this time due to the state he's in. This is where your environment comes into play. This is where the kind of people who are directly influencing your actions come into play. Who is Famous Dex letting speak into his ear? Are those people adding anything to his movement, or are they leeching off of what is on his table until there's nothing more to offer? Like they say, hindsight is 20/20, and in Famous Dex's case, he needs help ASAP. I don't want this to be one of those situations where we see people coming out talking about, I wish I could have done something, when in reality they didn't do a goddamn thing when the opportunity was there. The amount of messages I've gotten from Famous Dex fans is out of this world, bro. People are worried about him, and I want you to check out the comments on his Instagram after you're done with this video, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. I really hope Famous Dex gets himself together for 2021. Like most people, I want to see him sober. But yeah, Famous Dex definitely still needs help. What do you think about this topic though? The state of Famous Dex in 2020, is there anything you have to say about that? Definitely let me know in the comment section below, and let's have a discussion about this.